talk about. We'll just keep talking. We'll just keep talking. Just keep talking. Talking. For so long. Oh, we're babbling on. We're babbling
Good morning, Babbling On community. It's your mother Babble here. Hilton Dresden. Today, I am very hungover. And I'm joined... It's the perfect day for something like this, though, because I'm joined by one of the oldest scholars in the industry. And we're talking about something incredibly important that can help hungover people to get better and not feel so hungover if they have access to things like liquid IV or like all those things that rich people have that can make you less hungover.
B12 shots.
What are those?
A shot of vitamin in your ass.
Okay, right. This is starting to make me sound like I'm an alcoholic.
No.
Okay.
You just went out on a Saturday night.
I went out. It was my friend's birthday, and then the night before it was my other friend's birthday, and then the night before it was Wicked, and then the night before it was my birthday.
Right. So you've drank every night all week.
And so, without further ado, this guy has it all. Looks, a great job, a very beautiful apartment, and a great personality, and a sparkling circle of friends, and a brilliant fiscal mind. Please welcome to
Wow, what an introduction.
Merce Jessa in the building. I love you. Also, she's my bestie. Like, I forgot to say that.
Yes.
Hey,
There's lots of
girl.
love. Hey, queen.
Hey,
Hey.
You're finally
You're gonna
here.
be okay.
no, I'm not.
Yeah, you will.
You don't know what.
babbling on.
Thank God for getting yourself here.
Yeah,
Are you
I biked
excited?
here.
You did?
Yeah, it was
How is
brisk.
it? It was windy outside.
Windy,
When I went
yeah.
to get coffee, I almost blew over.
Yeah.
Did you fall and smack your little head on the pavement?
I
No.
didn't, thankfully.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
the devil, right?
I was safe.
Okay. How was your night? How are you?
My night was, it was good. I saw a high school friend
Oh, okay.
and then with another high school friend and a parent.
Okay. That sounds good.
But, you know, I got really tired at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
and I had 2 drinks and I don't know. I just
What did you drink?
start to really, the tiredness is just consistent.
Yeah. I had
all
to
the
take
time.
a nap on Friday. I never do
We're
that.
getting old.
I'm getting older. Oh my God. Okay. My pipes
It
are
kind
a
of
little
sounds
bit
like
out
how
of
you always
tune.
sound. Oh.
Have you seen Wicked? Oh.
I'm actually seeing Wicked tonight.
What?
Babbling.
I wanna be popular. I'll show you the fancy cars. No one ever do. I have a different version of Popular in my head that was by that guy Mika.
And Ariana.
What is that?
It's a song they made.
Okay.
It's kind of.
It's kind of good. It's so good. Wicked.
Oh, you saw it.
No one mourns the wicked.
Oh, if you could have seen.
What did my face look like? No, it's literally like the best movie of the decade. The last movie on that level was A Star Is Born.
So, just musicals on that level.
No one mourns
Oh, it's rough today.
wicked. That's because I'm hungover.
I'm defying gravity.
Oh my God, I saw your tongue vibrating. Stop.
Gravity.
Stop. You're hurting my ears. You're hurting. Your tongue was vibrating with the vibrato. Like, I didn't know you know
it's
the
my musical
classic
theater
techniques.
training.
You know the classic techniques?
Yeah, I grew up in theater.
How do you vibrate your tongue?
That is
Tell
actually
me.
Wicked. Fun story. Wicked was the first musical I ever saw on Broadway.
Okay.
Which started my obsession, and then I started collecting playbills for many years. And actually, this kind of speaks to what we're going to be talking about.
Okay.
Then I became obsessed with Billboard box score reports.
Oh, okay.
Right,
This is where we start to find ours, because I did this, but with like the movie
Box
theater,
office mojo.
Office. Yeah.
It was Broadway World or something.com/grosses dot something. And I would go every Sunday and I would see how every...
To the website? You mean? You would go to the website.
Correct. And I would see how every musical sold, the percentage and number of tickets. For what reason, I don't know. I guess just to study, you know.
And would you write it down and be like, okay.
No, I'd just be like, oh, another week at 100% for Wicked. Interesting. Me at 10 years old, by the way.
I also did that low-key with music. Billboard
the charts. Yeah,
I was looking at the Billboard charts.
Yeah, same.
Like I was like,
I was
who's
obsessed.
who's at the top?
Yeah, same.
I love.
And it was all the
rankings.
girls.
It was the
It was the queens.
Gaga was getting her work, but I was getting scared because she wasn't always getting the correct numbers.
Well, Rihanna was always at the top. That's for sure.
And we have another saber-toothed tiger at the top of the charts these days.
Sabretooth?
There's only one saber.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
Saber-tooth tiger, right? Sabrina. There you go.
Rihanna made some astounding chart history.
14 number ones.
But you know what? Gaga, like, she sometimes struggled on the charts.
Yeah.
Your jacket just fell. Oh. Okay, so before we get into the topic, who are you in the 8?
Who am I what?
You in the 8? Have you ever listened to the podcast?
Who am I in the 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing about that question is, if I ask it, like, I can find out if someone's ever listened to the podcast before.
Well, but I have. But
no,
the thing is, I don't know Sex in the City.
Do you know Girls?
It's about girls
and Sex in the City, so you can choose from any of them.
By
the way, it's like, okay, you haven't listened.
Oh, I have listened.
Oh.
But the thing is that...
Who would you be? I mean, you would be... Shosh? Because she's, like, working hard.
But she's insufferable.
Yeah, but that's at the beginning.
She's kind of insufferable the whole time.
Or Miranda. You'd be Miranda.
Yeah. I'll take Miranda.
Okay.
And I would say TBC on Girls.
What's TBC mean?
Like, to be confirmed on who I am.
And who am I? This is better. We should do it for each other.
I would say that you are... I don't know Sex in the City enough to define you. Girls, you're probably...
Okay, gotcha. Jessa right now?
I feel like you're a Jessa mixed with a Marnie.
No, I'm not. Marnie wouldn't have fun and get drunk.
She gets drunk.
Oh yeah, that's true. Wait, people who are not
people. Oh no, that's
that way. Marnie and I are into like.
Right.
I didn't have sex this weekend.
Just this weekend.
Yeah. No one mourns the wicked. When's the last time you did? We can babble this.
It would have been with my boyfriend this weekend.
Holy shit. This was supposed to be a fun conversation. A lighthearted banter. And now you've hurt me. Merce, what are you babbling on about today?
Well, when you had the idea for this podcast...
Walk us through the story.
I thought to myself, the perfect episode for the two of us
oh shit
would be money. Ain't it funny in a rich man's world?
But more specifically,
go around. More specifically, how to make money.
How to make money
in this day and age.
Suddenly I'm getting super scared because I'm realizing like this is a really intense
conversation. Right. How are your savings right now?
That I will not fully disclose on the podcast. Suffice to say, I have long had financial hardships. So this conversation couldn't be more timely and prescient. I have long struggled with money.
You're an artiste.
I'm an artiste.
And it's hard. A day job is hard for artists. A day job is
hard. Like, I guess, yeah, I've long struggled to get my foot in the door at someone wanting to keep me in an office for 5 days a week and have to see me that much. I think that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, but do you think you really want to be in an office 5 days a week? Do you think you want to be commuting twice a day, every day for 5 days?
Because I think like going to the water cooler for a glass of water and like gossiping with my friend. And
but what if they're all freaks?
Well, it could be like in the office.
It could, yeah.
And that actually looks miserable. No, I can't do it because I can't wake up that early.
Right.
That is the problem.
When do you wake up?
These days I wake up around 8 actually.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm lying, obviously, like 9.
So when do you actually wake up?
10. No, not. I would say
and
like
the thing about 10 a.m.
8:30.
is it's hard to make money waking up at 10.
Why? Like what happens in this first 2
hours? You need to just kind of start your day.
Wait, so what? Yeah, so how is a day spent to make money? You have to start your day.
You have to start your day.
Is that what it is?
5:30 a.m. Go for a jog.
You're lying.
Finish the jog.
You don't do that.
Go to the gym. Make your smoothie.
Wait, go to the gym after
finish making
the
your
jog?
smoothie.
What's the point of having a gym membership?
Meditate, write in your journal, and then begin your workday. No, I'm just kidding. But
wait, but meditate.
Some people do that.
I know, like the psychos and the freaks. They don't. Let me tell you one thing. None of those people listen to this podcast. This is a podcast for the 10:30 a.m. waking up community, which I'm an 8:30 sometimes.
Actually, I wake up at 8:15 every day.
Oh,
yeah,
that's late. You're burning daylight, kid.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you
the winter?
find
It's
time
like
to
it's crazy. I'm like working in my little office, and 3:30 p.m. I'm starting to need to turn on my light because it's getting dark.
You have a natural sun lamp.
No, I'm just saying I have a window, and usually there's enough daylight. And this depressing ass season, like, why is it dark at 4 p.m.?
Why is daylight saving? Because doesn't it
needs to be abolished?
Well, I would rather have dark in the morning. Like, I don't want sunlight in my face in the morning. I agree. It would be fun to wake up and have it be 8 a.m. and pitch black out to me.
I don't know about that, but
I need time for like my eyes to readjust. You know, like I need a gradual thing where it starts dark and then it becomes light. I hate waking up to bright sunlight. It makes me sick. Like today I woke up to bright sunlight around 12:15
p.m.
and I was like, I'm gonna be sick.
Well, I think you were going to be sick.
But then it could be light later.
Right. Yeah, like, I think it's like a balance somewhere in between what you're talking about.
I think it's severely on one end of the spectrum. I don't believe that balance can be...
Excuse me?
I don't believe balance can be balanced.
Balanced?
Yeah. Like, I think... I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I was going to say extreme opinions are good, but then I was like, wait, no, they aren't. Like, extreme is... Okay, so...
moving on.
So if you want to make money, do you actually have to wake up early? Let's just get that out of the way. Or are you joking around? Like, how early do you have to wake up if you want to make money?
I would say, like, let's be up by 9 a.m.
Okay,
yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
That's doable.
Yeah.
Actually, it feels good to get up at 8:30. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Time to seize the day.
Yeah.
And a 9 to 5 is obviously one way you can go.
It's one way.
And
but there's many other ways now.
Do you do that? 9
no,
to 5?
because I'm kind of just always working, you know?
For elephant in the room, what's your job? Like, we don't have to go into the deep side of things. But
I work in music and artist management.
Oh my God. You have a publicist.
I've been media trained.
So can I say it?
Yeah.
She works for Sabrina Carpenter. She's on her management team.
That's correct.
Anyone
Sabrina
out there gagging?
and Marina, they rhyme. Sabrina Marina with
Sabrina and Marina doesn't rhyme.
Valara Management. Sabrina Marina?
Sabrina Marina.
Is that not a rhyme?
Rena. Sabrina with Pubrina would rhyme.
Oh, I see.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what is that called when it's a Ina?
I think it's
match?
I think it's should I start doing this more like red table, where we're like at the red table, but it's the brown table?
Yeah, the brown.
Come to the brown table, which has all this like wax on it.
Browning out.
She works with Sabrina and Marina. That doesn't rhyme, but it is like sort of consonants.
Yeah, matching one another.
Do you go into an office?
So with that team, and then I have 2 clients that I work with just by myself. But the thing about management in general is you're just on, like,
you're on.
If you need to support your artists, you're supporting them at any time whenever they need help and support.
Is that the main tenet of the job? Is like you're basically there to support the artist?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're wanting to be an advocate and also a support system to them. And I mean, depending on who you work with, I feel like every artist is different, so it can always look different.
And obviously, we won't get into the nuts and bolts of your job.
Right.
Like, there's some confidentiality.
Right, of course. But I think that a lot of managers are kind of always working. So, and actually most of my team that I work with are all based in LA. So the one thing that's nice about me living in New York is that I have a morning.
So that's why you don't have to wake up at 5.
Right.
I have a question, a couple questions, because obviously, what a cool job, first of all. But not everyone is going to become a music manager. So I want to keep it a little more general and ask you, though, like, how did you get to such a high ranking position in your field? What was the journey? Like, so here's the thing. There's 2 schools of thought. Like, some people are young enough where they could still do what you've done and become you by this age, and some of us are already older than you and it's too late to even do that.
I don't think that it's too late to do anything.
Well, how did you do this? You knew you wanted to. I just pulled a
hair
knots of hair out of my head. What did you always know you wanted to work in music, and what decisions did you make to get to where you are now?
Well, I grew up in the arts,
right,
like a little gay boy. And actually,
in New York City.
One of was Alec the first guest on the podcast? Or was he second?
He was the first, although he wasn't the first to record. There was a little bit of
first to release.
Yeah, he was the first release.
Well, Alec and I and some others that many of us know.
Yeah.
All grew up in New York together doing theater, and I said it before, I was theater obsessed as a child, and I guess studying box office reports. For who, I don't know. But I would say at the same time,
did Wicked ever fall off?
It never flopped. From what I can remember, it was 95% plus sold every week. Every week.
Okay.
I always loved music, and my dad played the sax. But actually, I grew up with my mom only, but I think maybe some of his musical genes translated over to me.
Your dad played the sax? That just, it took that long, by the way, for you to say it, for it to process into my head.
Because of how hungover you are.
I don't know if that's even it. That might just be something that even if I weren't hungover, it would have been like that.
Well, my dad played the sax for fun, not professionally.
Oh, okay.
But still, he loved music.
A love of music in you.
And had a huge record collection. And actually, shout out to my dad, because I remember he was listening to NPR and was like, oh, I thought you would like this artist, and burned me a CD, and it was MIA. So that's how actually I was introduced to MIA in middle school.
Your dad burnt you on
Correct.
MIA CD?
But
MIA, that well,
yeah, third world democracy.
yeah, we got more records than the KGB. So no funny business. I love that. That's one of the best songs of all time.
Actually, the first two albums are some of the two greatest of all time.
I actually
think.
don't know the albums. I just know
Rular
Paper
and Kala.
Planes and Bad Girls. Is that what it's called?
You don't know where you at, Bucky Dun Gun. Where you at, no fire dun no.
Shit. I don't know that one.
All right, slam, galang, galang, galang.
Don't know that either.
How about na 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 na
I don't know
na
any
na
of
na
them.
na 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 boys stay na 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 na.
I only know Bad Girls. Is that what it's called? And Paper Plane.
Okay.
Okay, so you had a
So-
love of music.
Always loved music, and even though I was theater obsessed, I was also music obsessed. And even though I was studying box office reports like you, I was also studying Billboard charts and
Yeah.
Airplay charts, and
Yeah, and
I
learning
was
a
obsessed
lot
with
from
pop
that.
stars and obsessed with Rihanna, as you know.
Yeah.
And I was always like, well, what makes someone successful? Like, why are some
But
artists
it's not always the product or the talent.
Yeah, I was
mean,
like-
that's a factor, but
And I was like, why are some people number one all the time and some others not? And so I was just, I loved music, but I also was like intrigued by it. And
did you want to be a pop star, or were you always like, I want to like lift? No shade. Like,
What do you mean, no shade? I'm a better singer than you.
we've been through this. We have a mutual friend who's a pop singer,
Right.
Who decided
say that I was the better
at
vocalist.
singing. No, she did say me. You can ask anyone.
Ask who?
Dom,
I don't
Your
think that's
boyfriend.
correct.
your
I
own
don't think
boyfriend.
that's correct.
You know it is.
No.
But this is why you're good at your job, because you can just say something with conviction,
Right.
and people will believe you, even though the
You're like, I never said that. I never said that.
Babbling.
I have a lot to babble out already.
Okay, back to my love
Okay,
for
so
music.
back to your love for music.
So it was always there, and I was I loved it, and I was studying it, and I don't remember what age, but there was I think early high school. I was like, okay, I love theater, but I started to have reservations about it, and
Because of the people.
the people are insufferable, and I don't know, something about like I just stopped loving the music. Like I used to go to every single musical on Broadway, and I was obsessed and knew all of them, and then suddenly one day I was like, these are all like so corny.
You got to be too cool, and I'm using cool in air quotes, like you aren't actually too cool, but like you became too like snooty for it.
I think it's just sometimes it's like I love plays still, but something about musicals, and they're like, I want a thing with
But what about Wicked?
I won't know if he loves me. It's like, I don't want to listen to that.
No one mourns the wicked.
But I do have my faves still.
Who are they? Wicked?
Okay, my top 5
Okay.
would be Dreamgirls,
Okay.
Spelling Bee,
Never seen.
Rent,
Love.
Sweeney Todd,
Love.
and
What about Wiki?
I just don't know that. Oh, and In the Heights.
In the Heights.
Lights up on Washington Heights.
I
up
don't
at the
care
break of
about
day.
In the Heights. Oh, so you're a Lin-Manuel Mirandan?
Well,
You know, he
In the
wrote
Heights. Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Those would be my top
Hamilton made a
5.
few points.
In the Heights was the one for me. Yeah.
I saw it with Corbin Blue, and I don't know how this will land, but like I could not understand one word he was saying.
Okay, so anyway, so the theater love, I kind of fell out of it, and then I was like, oh, but I still love music. And I think my mom found that, or figured out that music industry programs existed in college. And I found this program, the Clive Davis Institute of Recorded Music at NYU. And I did a tour as like a sophomore, I think, in high school. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, you can like learn about the
college.
music industry and like be in a recording studio. And all the professors were like accomplished and had produced for artists that I knew and loved. And
Can I give my version of that, which is I went to a college tour and it was at Emerson for like the TV department, which I didn't apply for and didn't go to school there for, but that was some reason what we toured it for. And the reason I went to Emerson was because they, like, one of the guys there was doing the effects for the Sex and the City DVD, like the
I thought you were going to say you wanted to have sex with the guy.
Anyway, keep going.
So I found that program, and then I was like, oh, this is perfect, and I don't like theater anymore, and I don't want to do this, and I still am obsessed with music. And
so you go to college.
And so,
And
I
you
applied
study
for
hard.
NYU, and I, for some reason, applied as a producer and like made a
wanted-
beat on GarageBand, and it was like, I was like, I'm gonna go for production, even though it didn't make sense because I didn't even really want to do that, and so I was rejected.
Oh my God.
And I went
never
to
knew
Drexel University my freshman year
What?
in Philadelphia. You definitely know this.
that. I knew that, but I forgot. Okay.
And I hated it. And
Wait, I forgot.
it was one of the many low
This
points
is
of my
important
life.
because your story was starting to sound a little too like aspirational. Like, oh, like
Checked
none of
all
us
the boxes.
babblers. No one who listens to babbling on is going to be able to
Relate.
apply to college and get into college. Like, it's
No, I was
over
rejected
for
by my
us.
dream school, and I went to a school that I knew I was going to hate, and I hated it, and I
How
was
did
miserable.
you handle that though? Because it's like I face rejection all the time in a number of
You don't
different
handle it well.
contexts. I'm getting better because of my mood stabilizer.
Oh, yeah. Shout out her.
Shout out to Lamictal, 100 milligram.
Lamictal?
Yeah, that's the name of it.
Oh, it's a,
Lamotrigine, actually.
such interesting names.
Well, but how do you handle it? 'Cause sometimes a rejection kind of
It was hard.
brings you down, and you can't. How did you get back up?
Well, I think that kind of speaks to
Plus,
making
Drexel,
money.
Where is Drexel?
Philadelphia.
How did? Yeah, so
Drexel Dragons.
How did you?
Drexel
how,
Dragons. I
oh,
got
their
there,
team
and
name
it's
is
like
the Dragons.
everyone was like a suburban white Pennsylvanian kid, and I
How
went
did you
to.
survive that?
Well,
This goes back to office culture because it's like, how could I get a 9 to 5? Like, I couldn't go in and be around all these normies. Like, they would all be afraid of me, and I'd be afraid of them, and that's why I don't have a job.
Well, mind you, I grew up in Brooklyn, and I went to a performing arts school for middle school and high school where our prom queen was a trans woman, and
Gee.
people were having sex in the staircase during school, and
I'm so jealous.
you were assumed gay until proven straight, basically.
You were having something.
So
Lots to babble.
and actually this school was my favorite thing about my high school experience is how diverse it was in every aspect, in gender, race, economics, situation, and background. Like, truly every type of person went to my high school. And then I went to Drexel, and it's all these like suburban white kids, and everyone would be like, oh, that's so gay. That's so gay. And then
Did you stick up and go, hey, it's not okay to say gay when you mean lame?
I wish that I did.
You didn't.
But I
did you?
didn't.
So you can be a spineless person
spineless.
who lets homophobia
Okay.
happen and still succeed in your career? That's what you're saying.
Whoa. Wow. That was crazy.
I went a little too hard there.
I remember going to an Ellie Goulding concert in Philadelphia
Oh my God.
with my friend, and we were standing outside freezing. It was like in January or something, trying to get a car, and like the car finally comes, and these people tried to like beeline for it, and I was like, no, that's our car. And the guy's like, no, that's our car, fucking faggot. And I was like, oh my God.
My God, I was properly gagged.
I had never heard stuff like that
He-bodied
before.
that.
Like, he bodied that.
What did you say?
I was like, oh.
Did they take the car?
No, we took the car.
Oh, good.
And then we kind of drove off, and I was stunned. The woman was too stunned to speak.
You shut the lights, don't stop me.
Turn so slow.
They're shining when you're low. Okay, so
so miserable
you survived
experience at Drexel, but what I had in me, I had some drive, and I had something in me that still there was enough in me to want to reapply to NYU, even though the rejection was hard.
Within.
It has to come from
That's
within.
something you just have to find.
The
inside
voice within
yourself.
is Christina
What is-
Aguilera once said.
Oh, she talked about that.
It's a song.
We just saw Christina Aguilera.
We did in LA.
In LA. You guys, we just saw Christina Aguilera on stage. Sabrina brought her out. She was
Amazing.
That's all I'll
There's
say.
no voice quite like that one.
Although you couldn't hear it because we were
'Cause
around
everyone was screaming.
11-year-olds who were screaming. Like they probably have bleeding vocal cords.
Yeah. So I reapplied, this time not as a producer, but as an executive entrepreneur is what they called it.
Okay.
And actually, I did a whole deck about how the Billboard charts should incorporate
Really?
streaming into the charts, because at the time it was just airplay and digital downloads. And I was like, actually...
And now it
And
does.
then
Did they use your
So,
deck?
Actually, Billboard used my deck. And
Are you serious?
No, but...
Wait, that is amazing. So you took like the nerdy little obsession.
part of me. Yeah.
That is what
And
we
that's
must.
how you make
is that how you do
money.
it? How do you make money? We have to get into the tips and tricks, but like I want to follow this through line through. So you go back, you flourish there, you meet Mikey Rogers, you graduate summa cum laude,
No, but I did graduate with honors, yes.
and then from there.
Then I worked...
Well, this is a really important thing, is because I'm in the current process of looking for a job. It's like, so after that, were you
Well,
let
let's
me go
not
on
skip
LinkedIn?
over a couple of things.
Okay.
Because as soon as I got to college, I started working. And then...
What do you mean?
Well,
Like
I
for
just started
yourself?
having a job like while I was in school. And then when I was in NYU...
You mean like at Starbucks?
I worked at a gallery at Drexel. Then I worked at Pinkberry
Gallery.
that summer. And then I worked at Urban Outfitters the next summer. And then
I worked at Topshop.
The
on
NYU
Fifth
gym.
Avenue.
NYU gym.
That would be fun.
And then...
I worked at Starbucks in high school at the Barnes & Noble Cafe.
Starbucks is now
I
canceled,
also worked
so
at
it's kind of
It
awkward.
is?
Yeah.
I worked at Starbucks in college, too.
It's awkward.
In the Weston Hotel. I was a
But...
camp counselor. I guess we'll get into this.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, then I got a job at the Apple store while I was at NYU, which was the most hellish,
Okay.
horrifying
But how
job
do you
that I've ever had.
survive a horrible job without quitting or being fired?
Well, this is the thing. You kind of just have to be determined, and you can't give up. That's the thing I
But
always
you
say.
sometimes have to.
I was miserable, but I was making decent money.
Yeah.
And then I graduated and I didn't have a job. I couldn't find a job. And
Okay, but pause. How did you get the job at Apple? Like, job interview. Like, how do we nail the job interview?
Apple, I had to do 5 interviews.
How did you even find the listing? LinkedIn?
Apple.com. You just kind of apply.
Oh, okay. And how did you get the interview? Like, did you have a resume that was good? Like, we need to talk about resume. And like,
I'm kind of forgetting this part, so
okay.
maybe.
Sure. We can talk
Also,
about it with a
Apple,
different
I've kind of blacked out from PTSD.
Okay,
from
not
my
around
experience
Apple,
there.
but like in general, I need to know like what can make my resume and cover letter stand out.
Well, this was my thing, right? I graduate college, and I was like, oh, I went to this amazing program, and I have all these resources at my disposal. I'm going to get a job immediately,
Yeah.
and I did not.
Okay.
No one wanted to hire me.
Thank you for keeping it human.
And also, I went through college, and it's like, I remember taking an accounting class, and I'm like, I don't know how to do my taxes. And also,
I don't.
am I supposed to get a credit card? Because like no one's told me anything, and
I
like
only got a credit card like 2 years ago when
Yeah.
you made me get one.
right,
The Chase Sapphire.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now you make points, and you can purchase
and
airplane
one thing
tickets.
I will say, I may not be the best with money, but I'm not like someone who puts herself into debt. Like I've never had debt. I've never had credit card debt. Like
That's good.
That's not my tea.
Some people really get a credit
just don't
card and they
invest it
just
well.
spend as if the money's there.
That's not me.
And
Because that's why I never had one. Because I was always like, I know I sound like a tumbleweed of tumbling from one bar into the next club and never. But I actually have always been like a frugal sort of like
Yeah.
anxious child and person, and I've always been
That's
like,
why you eat like
I
canned
don't
tuna
have-
every day for food.
yeah, and because food makes me nauseous a lot, and I shit everything out.
Right.
And I'm just like lazy. Anyway, keep going. Forgot where I was going with that.
Well, okay,
So
so
you couldn't get a job.
couldn't get a job, and I also was like, oh, like okay, I graduated college, and what am I supposed to do, like, financially? Like, first of all, in high school, why do we not have a being an adult class?
Yeah.
Like, why do they not teach us
Which is
how
what
to
we're
do your
here to do.
taxes?
Yeah, how do
because
you?
it does not make sense.
Oh, I don't know how to.
It doesn't make
My
sense.
mom's neighbor, thank God, like has been doing them for years, and I always said like, I'll give you a drawing of your kids if you do my taxes. And then 5 years later, I finally gave her the drawing. It was so ugly, and now I've given her the drawing, and she's still doing it. But I'm like, when am I gonna have to come to terms with like she won't keep doing it?
Right. Taxes don't make sense.
No,
No,
Well,
they don't.
I mean, libraries are great.
Right. Well, yeah. Taxes don't make sense. And then credit cards, like, well, we live in New York, right? And
right.
correct. And when you apply for an apartment in New York, they run a background check
that
and
I
a
can't
credit
even
check.
get into.
And you need to have a good credit score. And no one tells you, like, hey, when you graduate, you need to start building credit because you're going to be rejected from an apartment when you have 2 weeks left to look for a place and there's nothing on the table.
Yeah.
And everything is too expensive.
And then what
And
happens?
1,000 people are trying to get the same apartment.
Yeah.
And your credit score is 480 because no one told you anything.
It's not fair.
It's not
We
fair.
live in a disgusting world.
We do.
Like, I hate it. I can't do it.
And that's capitalism.
I can't work like this.
That's tough. And I'm here to help.
So we still haven't really learned how we get jobs.
Right. Okay. So I'm kind of like figuring out all this stuff. And my mom notoriously just hated math and never wanted to talk about money and wasn't very good with money, but I love her.
Dude, if you're out there listening, we love you.
And so I was like, okay, I have to just kind of do this all myself. And like, I have to get a job and learn about savings and all these things that don't really make sense and no one's teaching me. And so I was actually at the Apple store and I had friends that told me about stocks because
I've not invested in anything right
right,
now.
investment is important.
What
Because
do we do? Like Robinhood, or like how do you
Yeah.
do that? Do you get like a
I have
guy?
crypto.
Do you go get a guy to do it for you, or do you just
No,
like,
you just
look
kind
at
of invest
the
in-
NASDAQ?
yeah,
But what if you get it wrong and lose all your money?
well, that's the stock market for you.
Why don't you have a broker?
But that's the stock market and buying stocks and everything. But then there's also like savings, for example, right?
yeah,
You can most people are like, okay, I have my checking and I have my savings.
I have those.
But what no one tells you is that at a bare minimum, you can open a high yield savings account, which is
What is that?
basically a savings account, but you get 4 or 5% interest instead of like 0.005 that you get with a regular bank.
I have 0.00.
So I think,
How do you open a high yield?
well, you can open
savings
one with
account?
Amex. You just go and online and you
I don't
open
have
one.
an Amex. I have Chase
Just-
Sapphire.
It doesn't matter.
That's
You
what
just go to
told me to get.
AmericanExpress.com. So that's a credit card. We're talking about a high yield savings account. But this is why these conversations are so
Wait,
important.
So you have a Chase Sapphire and an Amex?
So I just have an account with Amex.
You don't
that's
have
a high yield
okay.
savings account.
So
Yeah.
I still wasn't getting it.
No, correct.
So you have an Amex high yield savings account, and you don't have to pay to open that. I'm not
No.
paying another
No, you don't have to
$100
pay. You don't have to-
initiation fee for anything.
Whoa.
Oh,
That was scary.
I know.
What was that?
wait, I have a story about job interviews, but we'll circle back to that.
Anyway, so everyone listening, if you just have a regular savings account, open a high yield savings account, because basically all the money that's just sitting in your savings that's not gaining any interest can gain a lot more interest by, at a minimum, just opening a high yield savings account.
Okay, and how much should you invest in the stock market? In like Google, is that what you should invest in, or like Apple?
I would say that's a topic for another time because it's like really complicated.
Okay.
And you can always get a financial advisor.
I'm gonna do that because like
Shout out Emily at Northwestern Mutual.
So you do have one.
Yeah, a financial advisor.
I thought you said that you just looked at the stock.
Well, she's
At the
my like
NASDAQ.
overall financial advisor, but stocks I kind of just, when the GameStop stuff was happening, do you remember that?
Did you
During COVID?
Did you benefit from that?
No, but I kind of just started like putting in some money here and there based on Reddit and Twitter, and it didn't like go totally correct for
I
me.
lost $500 when I tried to invest once on Robinhood,
Yeah.
and I invested in like
What did you
stable
invest
things
in?
like Amazon.
Huh.
And then a few, actually, my little brother, who like was really into the stocks at the time, like told me what to put in, and he was like 10,
And he was wrong.
He was wrong.
So don't listen to your 10-year-old brother.
I thought it would be like so cool to like invest based on my 10-year-old brother's advice and then like be rich, and unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way.
I'm sorry.
500 gone.
Yeah. So that's kind of just, savings and money and all the things, which I was like learning when I was working at Apple and trying to find a job.
So then
I
how
was
did
like,
you get the job?
well, so I was applying a lot. And another thing.
Wait. When you say you were applying a lot, were you like, where were you looking? Indeed, LinkedIn?
I was looking on Indeed. I was
those
looking
job
on
postings
Music
on
Business
Indeed
Worldwide.
and LinkedIn like are legitimate things? Because I have submitted like to multiple postings a day for like the past like lifetime.
Well, I think
and like
it depends
I
on
almost
the-
never hear back from anything.
I think it depends on the field that you're applying to. Because I was also applying to music jobs. So some were on Indeed, some were on like music business websites, some were just through like Facebook groups or people that I knew.
Okay.
So it was a big mix of stuff. And I feel like entertainment as a whole, it's just about who you know. Like,
Yeah.
you can apply, but like if someone flags your resume or like there's a relationship there, you always have a better chance.
Oh God, but I'm not a good schmoozer.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a good interviewer, and that was my thing. Like, I was flopping in
If
interviews.
I can get the interview, I can get the
Yeah,
job.
you're a star.
I'm sorry like that. But I don't my brain just completely shut down. Wait, can I tell you an interview story quick?
Yeah.
So I worked at Barnes & Noble Cafe in high school.
Oh my God.
We're remembering that.
Yeah.
Which was Starbucks, but they don't take Starbucks gift cards. And I had also worked so by the way, just to catch us up to speed, because we're about to get into your adult career, but I want to share a little of mine. Like, I worked a million different jobs. It's not like I've never worked. It just looks that way and seems that way.
It's important to know, folks.
It's important to know. It's like when I worked at a ice cream shop for 2 weeks and then quit because they wouldn't let me go on the family vacation. And then I was a babysitter, and then I was a camp counselor, and then I worked at a dry cleaners, and there would be like poopy clothes that came in from the old person's.
Was this the
center across
babysitting
the
when
street.
you lost the kid?
No, that was in New York,
Oh, right.
which I'm happy to. Basically, I lost a kid for like an hour on the Upper West Side, and it was so scary. And it was like, my vacation to Italy next week is going to be ruined. And then I found him, but like he had
Thank God.
run away, and I was with his two brothers. It was the first time meeting all three of these boys who wouldn't speak a word to me. They were terrified of me. Anyway, I worked at the Barnes & Noble Cafe, and I'll tell more of my employment history as the conversation progresses. But I got the interview, and they were interviewing me, and they were like, why do you want to work here at Barnes & Noble? And I looked around and I didn't know what to say, because I don't get those questions where it's like, why do you want this job? It's like, because I want a job. Like,
Right.
it's
Because
not
I need
because
to pay
right.
things.
It's not because I'm like, oh, my dream in life has been to work at Barnes & Noble. Like, no, that's why I
what
don't
they
get it.
want to hear.
I know. And like Mary Claire, our mutual friend, connected me to this like personal assistant hiring company once, and they sent over a questionnaire for me to fill out that was like, what are your like biggest dreams in the world? And I answered it honestly, like, I want to be like a movie star, writer.
I want to be rich and famous.
Yeah, and then I submitted it and never heard from them again. And I asked Mary Claire, like, did I do something wrong? And she's like, you're supposed to say, like, your dream in life is to be a personal assistant. And it's like, I'm sorry, like, that is not my dream or anyone's dream.
I'm just dying thinking about this company that's hiring personal assistants. Reading a response, what do you want to do in your life? And you're like, I want to be a movie star and I want to be rich and famous.
I was like, I want to be the next Phoebe Waller-Bridge. But anyway, so I was at Barnes & Noble, and they're like, why do you want to work here? And I look around and I go, because it's so warm in here.
No. And they hired you?
Like, temperature-wise. And the guy was kind of like, what do you mean? It's like, it's like so comfortable and cozy and warm in here.
How old were you?
I was a junior in high school.
And you got hired.
And then the other story. Wait, so then I got hired, and then I worked. Oh, and then I was an RA in college, and then I went studying abroad in college, and I came back. And
where'd you go?
And I went to the Netherlands. Wait, is that what you're asking?
Where did you study abroad?
The Netherlands. Yeah, in this weird castle. And I came back and I was in debt, like, because I had borrowed money from my mom because, like, I had run out of money. And I was like, I have to, like, work really hard now. Like, it's time to get a job while being an RA, which is, like, a lot to take on. And so I printed out my resume. There's this street in Boston called Newbury Street. That's like the fancy street. Like comparable here would be, I guess, like Fifth Avenue, but a little bit smaller. And I printed out a ton of resumes and walked. Have I told you this story before? This is the best story of all time. Wait, this is what I'll tell at my stand-up thing that I have to do. And I walk down the street and I'm handing out the resumes to, like, what's that place called? Not Scotch and Soda, All Saints, and like things like that. And like,
you were just walking in the store being like, here's my resume.
Can I give you my resume? And then I'm like, sure, okay. And by the way, I like looked weird in college. Like I my hair was really short. Like nowadays I can skate by a few things because my hair is so cool. But back then, like, I didn't even have the hair going for me. But
you had the personality.
I had the personality. Finally, I looked, although I was wearing like skinny jeans. Finally, I've handed out my thing to literally like 20 places. I'm in, I want to say Marshall's, and I'm handing over the resume. And I look at it as I'm handing it to the woman who's kind of like, we don't have any open positions, but I'll take this in case. And I look at it and printed at the top of the resume.
Oh no.
Instead of my name, Milton Dresden, it says
insert name,
information technology.
It was on everyone.
Like it was like a template.
And that's how you don't make money.
And then I was like, do you have a pen?
And you crossed it out.
I was like, do you have a pen? She gave me a pen. Information technology. And I wrote my name in. And then
it would have gotten even better if you then went back to every single store and said, excuse me, can I borrow a pen really quick?
Well, then I was at the end of Newbury Street and there was a Starbucks and I went into it and gave the last resume to them and I was like, do you guys have a pen? And I scribbled it out and I got the job there and I worked there.
You handed them the resume and they said, oh, we're actually hiring? Or did they call you at a later date?
I think they called me. I can't remember. It was a lesbian who managed the Starbucks. I do remember that. Everyone at Starbucks, there's all sorts of types who work at Starbucks. And that is a different sort of community.
Right.
Anyway, so back to your story of looking for jobs.
Yes. So I was looking for many and I found that I was bad at interviewing because another thing, like, there wasn't a class on how to interview for jobs in college.
What were you doing wrong?
I would get nervous, and the music industry is so funny because, like, I would either be in these rooms with like a really corporate environment and atmosphere, feeling like underdressed and not prepared, or I would walk in and it would be so hyper casual and they're just wanting to like shoot the shit and I'm like overdressed and I'm like overly prepared. Yeah. And I felt like I was never like the right balance of the two.
That's interesting.
And so I was just flopping and not finding work and miserable at the Apple store, and finally found this job at M Theory, which I was at for 5.5 years, which
how'd you find it?
I think I saw a posting on this music business Facebook group, and
I deleted my damn Facebook.
Well, this is 2017, so okay. I don't know if it's still active.
Is there still a comp to Facebook today? Instagram, I guess, for job seeking?
I mean, there's Instagram profiles that post jobs, but I feel like there must be like a Reddit or like something that's, I don't know what that is.
Some Facebook to it.
Yeah. But I found it, and going back to who you know, I think that one of my like internship bosses knew the CEO of the company, and so I applied, but then I had him also send a note, and I think that's how I got the interview.
And how
then,
did you do the balance of the casual or over prepare?
I mean, at that point, it had been like almost a year and a half of me looking for work, and so it felt like it was just right time, right people in the room, like the stars aligned, and I got the job. And
What were your secrets to interviewing?
my secrets to interviewing was, I mean, come prepared, know how to bullshit, because a lot of it is working a room and saying things that people want to hear. And people that are, you need to be able to talk about experience in a way that's going to be relevant to whatever the job is.
Okay. Right.
And I think it's just confidence. Like, it's like when I see people at music festivals that just like walk through the gate to the backstage area and definitely don't have a pass, but they were just really confident.
Yeah. That is, confidence is key.
It is.
Stick your chest out.
Yeah.
And stand up straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
I can't do that because of my scoliosis, but...
Oh, you have scully?
Well, you kind of make fun of me like slanting when I walk.
Oh my god, that's because of your scully?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I should not have made fun.
Yeah. Because on top of all of this, I wore a brace in high school for my
A back
scoliosis. At night, every night for 2 years. So I would look up the box office reports, and then I would strap in my brace and go to sleep at night. Anyway, so I left out a couple of things because my journey at the Apple Store into my journey at Theory, both were not paying me very well. And I was like, okay, I'm living in New York and I'm paying rent and I want to do things and I don't have money and I want to start saving and I want to build credit and all these things. And
it's impossible, but I have a feeling you're about to give us the little secrets.
My friend in college was like, I do this thing called focus groups.
I need to do one.
And I was like, what's that? And she's like, oh, just companies that hire you to talk about their product and get feedback. Like every major company does it. And you can join all these websites. You can be part of their listserv.
What are the URLs?
There's the Focus Room, Focus Groups, Schlesinger Associates, Advanced Focus.
Schlesinger. Let me just make sure I'm writing that down.
There are so many.
Okay. I'm on several because of you.
Yeah. So you can just sign up. Any person can sign up and you put in your information and then they'll send you relevant studies.
But most of the time I apply to them, I don't get picked. And I'm like, how honest or dishonest are you supposed to? Because when you get these things, there's these little questionnaires. It's like a lot of the times, and this is realizing now that it's shady, but like I get a lot for like whiskey brands. And they'll be like, which whiskey do you drink and how much? And I'll like say, sometimes I'll say like I drink them all a lot because I think that will get me in, or sometimes I'll be honest and say like I actually like have never heard of any of these.
Right. It's you become an expert as you get into it. And I've met people now that are like, there is like a subculture of focus groups. There are like obsessive people that they do this for a living.
I want to do that.
And these people will make thousands of dollars a month because they've like gamed the system and they know exactly what to say on these surveys.
What do you need to say? Like somewhere in the middle?
I don't say this, but I heard that you always should say you're married, which I don't say because I'm
really?
I don't have time to lie.
Oh, I'm going to say I'm married.
And I think they like a lot of people that have kids and like a lower middle class income. Like I feel like in the $50,000 to $100,000 range is like a sweet spot.
When did that become lower? I thought that was upper. No one mourns the wicked, wicked. Okay.
And then, you can kind of tell what the group is about based on the questions. I always like...
But how could you sustain the lie of saying, I'm married with a kid?
Well, that's the thing. I can't do that.
Yeah.
There's certain lies, like whiskey brands, right? They'll be like, which of these do you drink? And I'll say a lot of them. I'll always leave off a few. And then I feel like by the next question, you'll know. They'll be like, oh, and how often do you drink Jameson? And I'm like, okay, maybe it's about Jameson. So I'm going to say like once a week.
Okay.
Do something like not crazy, average.
Okay. But you kind of have to lie in all these questionnaires. I mean, it goes back to the thing with the personal assistant.
You kind of have to lie in life.
Yeah.
It's about lying.
I never think to lie.
It's about confidence and lying.
Funny how those two things are intertwined. Because confidence is basically lying and acting like you are.
Or some people are just that confident, which is scary.
Okay, wait, so
the other
focus
funny
groups.
thing about focus groups is so you get past this interview, right? And then if you might qualify, they'll call you and they'll like run through the screener with you again. And the funny thing is these recruiters just want to put you in the group. So I've had all these recruiters call me and they're like, okay, and how often do you watch TV? And I'm like once a week. And they're like, how do you feel about 4 times a week? I'm like, that sounds great. And they're like, great. So we finished the interview. They're like, you're all set. And just remember that you love Disney Plus. And I'm like, okay, sounds good.
No one, I need them to call me. See, I'm worried there's a social stigma or a professional stigma floating over. This is my OCD actually that I'm dealing with right now. That there's like a dark cloud, a black mark on my record that like no one hire Hilton for anything.
No, that's not true.
Right.
Yeah.
So focus groups.
And so what I didn't say is you do these roundtable discussions either online or in person about a liquor or a film company or a ad agency or whatever, and it's like maybe 2 hours, and you usually get paid like $200 to $250 to do this. So you walk out of there either with a check or like a online
or cash,
or cash or Visa gift card or whatever.
The Visa gift cards suck though. I did one once. And it was an NDA, so I don't know if I can say it, but for a big corporation that we've mentioned in this thing, and they gave me a Visa gift card. It is Facebook. And they gave me a Visa gift card, and then like I lost the email or whatever, and I didn't get the money, and I like tried contacting them a million times.
Lose the email?
Like I just did. You know how I am with email.
Once again, that's how you don't make money.
Like, how do you answer emails and not lose them?
Yeah.
Okay. So that one that I'm kind of hearing it is like you kind of just have to do it.
Yeah.
I guess. Okay.
Right, but the nice thing about those is once you open the email that you see about having a $200 gift card, which I don't know how anyone misses that or deletes it, but
there are ways.
You open it and then you can
it just like went away.
You could add it to your Apple Pay usually, and then you just tap and pay.
I have Apple Pay.
Mm-hmm.
I made $90.
From what?
I'll tell you off the bar.
Oh, okay. It's off the record.
No, focus groups are great. The most recent one I did, it wasn't a focus group, but it was like you had to go in and read the lines for the AI, which we were supposed
yes, I did that too.
$300 cash.
Yeah, for an
hour. You
hour.
had to like read off a teleprompter, which obviously like fuck AI, it's ruining everything, but we did do this and it was heaven because you go in and they're like, mine was about like parenting, like it's just like random things. It was like good and bad parenting skills, and you had to read some paragraphs like happy and then some sad, and it was so fun. It was like you were an actor, and it was over in 25 minutes and you got $300 cash.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. So you can do this. The thing is that people don't want to take the time to fill out the surveys, which I get, but like if you just set aside 10 minutes every day to fill out focus group surveys, you can, I would say on average, like you can do 1 to 2 a month, and if they're paying $200, that's an extra $400 to $500 a month.
Yeah, and that's like basically almost a quarter of rent.
Yeah. And so
I can't breathe.
you know, those are focus groups. And
what else can we do? What's that app that you play?
well, there's a
Merce had this app for like a year where it was like you basically have to like rate songs and listen to them out loud, and you would be doing it like in movie theaters, at restaurants, like music playing at low volume, and you'd be like
folded, it's gone under.
Oh, it has. But how much money did you make off of that?
I made I think $3,700. $3,700. I would play the playlist every day. You had to just finish a 40-song playlist and rate each song. The more ratings you gave, the more entries you got. And then there would be a drawing at the end of every day, a cash prize drawing from $50 to $500. And I did win the 500 once. I was in a taxi with Dom, and I remember it was like midnight when the drawing happens, and I opened it, and I was like, And he was like, "Did you win the 500?" And I got us massages.
Oh, that's nice.
Or no, actually, I think I got us spa passes.
Which brings me to another question, but finish your...
So there's all these things, right? Things that take time that are kind of annoying, but if you have the energy and you're willing to do it, you can make money on the side. In addition, there's an app called D-Scout, which is kind of a focus group app, but you can download it and you fill out surveys, but they usually ask a couple questions and then you do a selfie video. And then if you get the thing, it's always through the app, and it's like, sometimes it's like a 2 or 3 day thing or longer, and you just answer a lot of questions and record some selfie videos, and then they pay you through the app. And I'll tell you right now.
Okay.
I will look at it. I have been a member of D-Scout. I don't really do it anymore because I don't have as much time, but I have been a member since 2017, and I have made $8,000 on the app.
Wait, what?
Holy
shit! That thing he just showed me said $7,910.
Yeah.
So just shy of 8, but
okay,
it is a more believable number.
So that sounded sexier.
Well, I would have rounded down to 7,900.
Bitch.
Wait, I have a question. I have a big question.
So wait, let's just the music app and D-Scout alone. That's $10,000
over 5 years, but that is more than I made in the past 5 years. Well, okay, I have a few things. One is coupons. Do you use them? Groupon, coupon.
Not so much.
So we don't really think.
But there is Rakuten. Do you know Rakuten?
What's Rakuten? What's Rakuten?
It's a website app add-on that you can put on your Google Chrome. Okay. And basically almost every major website, like to shop, like maybe not Amazon, but like Nike or Adidas or like Bed Bath & Beyond, like all these places are a partner. And the little pop-up will open up when you go to the website, and it's like, activate your Rakuten, and it's cash back. So basically, anytime you purchase something online, you can use your Rakuten, and I'll show you this as well. But
what are you talking about? How do you spell Rakuten?
Rakuten. And it's like, well, why would I make a purchase
and not get cash back?
Get paid for it?
What is cash back?
Well, there's a specific amount that you get associated with whatever the website is. Like sometimes it's 2%, sometimes it's 10%.
10%. So I just remembered something too, about which is flight points, which I need
flight
help
points
with.
as well.
I do credit card points, but I don't do the flight points because I can't remember my password into Delta.
So you can see here my lifetime cashback over $500 on Rakuten.
$537.15. So together we're now hitting like $20,000.
No.
Is that right?
No.
Okay.
What now? But we've talked about focus groups. We've talked about D-Scout. We've talked about Rakuten.
Okay.
We've talked about Ultimate Playlist. There are things... Oh, and one more.
What have you got?
Seated.
What is seated?
What do you think it is?
Going to a concert?
Going out to eat. You can get paid to go out to eat. These are the things
now this is starting to sound like a pyramid scheme. And less like actual helpful hints for all of the really poor babblers out there who really could have used help. And now you're making fun of them. What is seated?
Seated is... oh, you're right here on my referral list.
I can't handle another password. That's the thing. That's why I can't do flight points. I can't handle another username and password.
It's just a bunch of restaurants in New York. It's not every, but you can go and you see on the map and you click on it. And some of them, this one is 21% cash back. So if you go out to eat and it's one of the restaurants on Seated, you just scan your receipt and you get cash back for eating out. And you can see, I don't know what the total is, but I think I made at least $400 on Seated. And then if you refer people... you can make money too.
So now we're at the pyramid scheme. Okay, so circling back a few things. I just want to give the rest of my employment history for the babblers who are curious.
Yeah.
Because you did 5 years at M Theory and now you work for yourself?
And Valara Management.
And I feel like the real key there is you took the thing you were nerdy about, which was the box office mojo, and made that deck that got you into NYU, and then followed your passions and have ended up here in this really great job. So for me, I worked at the Starbucks.
Barnes and
We
Noble.
covered that. I was in college. I wasn't really studying that hard in college. I was mostly just like partying, and I don't mean in a cool way with like the cool kids. I mean like getting drunk in the like dorms with the other girls who were singing Wicked, and I like didn't even know the lyrics. I just like was with the Wicked girls. But, like I never bothered to learn the lyrics.
But then you got a job at Out.
So then I I interned at Out magazine because I knew someone from Out who connected me, and I had the video interview in the dorms. I remember the guy who interviewed me. I like shouldn't be spilling this tea, but he was like in a tank top, like laying back in bed, and it was like weird. I'll probably have to babble that. And Out was like really cool. Many babblers will be familiar with my time there, and like there were
Even Troye Sivan was.
Troye Sivan reached out at one point to express his admiration for the videos I did there, which was basically there. Like I wanted to be like a comedian kind of, and like a writer, and Out let me just do whatever I want because there was no one there. So I just kept asking like, can I do this? Or like, can I make this video? Can I write this like sex column? Can I make these drawings? And I ended up doing all this stuff. I wasn't getting paid well. The internship turned into a job. But I got to do all this stuff that I became like known for, and it was really cool, and I was proud of it. Then Out went bankrupt, and I got laid off, and so did everyone else who worked there. It has since found a new publisher or something, because obviously we've seen the Ariana Cynthia clip, which is the best thing ever, and that's an Out magazine clip. For those who are unaware, that's when an Out magazine journalist goes to Cynthia and Ariana, so people have been holding space for the lyrics.
She goes, no.
No, I didn't know that was happening. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. It doesn't make any sense. What does holding space
you
mean?
touched on one thing about your Out experience that I think is crazy. Internships, at least for our generation,
Unpaid.
we just did all these unpaid internships, and it was like, you just have to do this to get a job. And so we just had to have jobs while we had internships. And now all these kids are getting
worked at
paid
Topshop.
for their internships, which is like
Topshop.
good, I guess. But like, we didn't get paid.
But like,
We didn't get paid.
Fair. No, we didn't. But I did get to go to like open bar events all the time for Out, and like meet drag queens.
That's fun.
Yeah. So Out. But what's interesting?
Babble.
Anyway. I have a lot to cut. I was a personal assistant then for a few years, and then I worked at Hollywood Reporter until they did layoffs. Media landscape is just hell. And then most recently I went on Craigslist, which is a great other way to find a job if you're desperate.
And an apartment.
It's actually still a very active community, and I got a job at Big Nose Full Body Wines in Park Slope.
But what about Nighthawk?
Oh, I did work at Nighthawk for a day too, but then
It was
I chose
one day?
Big Nose. Yeah, it was one day. It was one day. Oh, and I worked at Cafe Clooney for 4 days.
Oh yeah.
But then I spilled seltzer and
Wait, what about the other cafe that was like
and
2 years ago?
I worked at another cafe.
Yeah.
I worked at a million places. I
Yeah.
kind of can't even remember. I've been a
You've
nanny.
kind of been working
That's when I
late.
lost, because I'm in queer media. Anyway, I got fired from Big Nose for gesturing with my hand towards the Pinot Noir in an unsavory way, like a little butler. And now here we are. And I'm once again unemployed. Although I am collecting unemployment.
That's good.
I keep forgetting to do it, though. But that is a great way to make money.
That is a great way to make money. Collect unemployment if you've been laid
Also,
off.
if you can get, like, a line in a TV show. I made so much money from one line in one TV show.
Huh. That seems a little bit more niche.
Okay. What else can we do? And what should I do now to
So,
survive?
We've
I
talked
need a
kind of
job.
about the side hustle things,
Should I
right?
do graphic design? Should I go back to grad school?
I think graphic design I think that's good for you.
That could be tea. Like,
Yeah.
That would be kind of...
Because you're an amazing artist, visual artist.
Thank you. Oh wait, I'm gonna talk to Nakaya about the 2
Yeah.
week thing.
And it's like a raw talent that you have
Thanks.
that many don't. I cannot draw at all. Like, I cannot draw.
Well, I could you come to my class next year. I am starting another job as an art teacher next year.
Right.
One day. Don't. Merce laughed at me for how much I'm making as an art teacher, but like, this is all I have. By the way, I'm quitting. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't face 2nd and 3rd graders. Like, they're going to be too scary.
Have you done 2nd and 3rd grade yet?
What do you mean? I went through it.
Wait, I thought you were doing it weekly.
It doesn't start till January.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have all
That
this.
is scary.
What the fuck?
2nd and 3rd graders.
I'm not doing it.
That is scary.
It's not worth it.
But maybe they'd be cute.
I know. I'm going to give
Or
it one
maybe they'd
shot.
be scary.
We'll
It's a 50-50 toss.
Well, you know, all of them, first thing they're going to go is, are you a boy or a girl? I'm going to have to be like, I don't know. Good question, bitch.
Neither. And both. Or none.
And then there were
Or
none.
a woman.
What should I say?
Well.
Or a man. So any other good ways to make money? What can someone do if they're in my situation where they have really high bills that they can't afford to pay and they're draining through the little money they did have saved?
Well, do you remember what we talked about 15 minutes ago? There's a couple of things
You mean with recruiting?
Well, what was the first thing?
Be confident.
High yield savings account.
Oh yeah, okay. High yield savings account.
Because that's just free money that you'll make on a monthly basis. You don't even have to do anything.
Okay, that sounds perfect.
Focus groups.
Yeah, yep.
Side hustle.
What's that again?
10 minutes a day.
What side hustle? Oh,
It's a side
is the
hustle,
focus
yeah.
group.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 minutes a day, apply. You might have to lie a little bit more on the surveys.
And what if I wanted to start a business for my drawings? Could you help me with that?
Would I help you?
Yeah.
In what capacity?
Like be my manager.
Um,
It could be really low lift.
Actually, if you start doing like graphic design work, I would consider
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, I meant more like my drawings, not like corporate bullshit.
But you could do like book covers and
That's
like
what I want to do.
album artwork.
Well, okay, because this goes back actually to when you were little looking at Box Office Mojo, and I forgot to mention like with Hollywood Reporter, like I'm obsessed with Oscars, and so like I used that nerdiness to kind of get in there, and like in the interview for that, I was like, I'm obsessed with awards. I listen to podcasts all the time, and then I got that job, which was so fun and great, and I still write for them, and I have an interview tomorrow that I'm doing for them.
Who are you interviewing?
The DP from Nosferatu.
Oh,
Yeah.
Is that supposed to be? Maybe
I'm
I
seeing
can't say
it
this.
tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll tell you how it is.
Babbling on, babbling.
I'm blanking on what I was gonna say. It was something about childhood
Something about your drawing and how it relates to
Drawing.
Box Office Mojo and
drawing. Oh, I remember. When I was a kid, all I would do would be like draw fictional movie posters and book covers. So like
I love that.
I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna work on that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm leaving this with that. Also, what if I did that and then like made my whole thing just like making all these fictional posters, and like that was my thing as an artist. And
Well,
then
you
I
could
had
do like
gallery show.
a stylistic, like you could have your Hilton style.
Yeah.
And like any movie or like TV show that comes out, they hire you because they want the like Hilton style
Wait,
poster.
that could be the way.
Hilton style poster that's really cool and like hand drawn, like how people will do the like retro like 70s poster.
Oh my
like
god,
you'll
this
have
is my life. I have to.
We're gonna look back at this podcast.
Oh.
and it's gonna be how you started making money.
Oh, phlegm just threw out of my mouth. Where did
I
it
thought your
land?
tooth fell out.
It looked like that.
Yeah,
It was that big of a phlegm piece.
no,
probably
you're
on you.
You're. Oh. I think this might have been a major day.
I actually think that's huge. And you're gonna manage me. So you have a new client. What other ways? What about like change? Like, do you save your change?
No.
Yeah, me either. Oh,
Tipping.
tipping at like a counter of a barista. I've been a barista like for basically a third of my life, so I feel comfortable saying this. Like, if you're just filling a cup of iced coffee, like, you don't need a tip.
Yeah, I disagree with this idea that because every store has an iPad now that asks for a tip.
They try and make you tip
You don't
at like
need to
the Nike store.
No, like,
it's insane.
Yeah, like, I'm tipping if you've maybe
Right. We'll babble this. This is all babbled. Okay, any final remarks? I think we've actually kind of covered it.
we've covered
Yeah.
it. Confidence,
lie,
good posture. Remember,
following-
there's many ways. If you want to take the time to download apps and connect your Google Chrome and fill out surveys, you can make money every month.
Oh yeah. And by the way, I think I'm gonna reach out to all the other Oscar Awards websites and try and write for them. Like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
So like, and also manifesting putting that out there.
And what if you designed for Alec Cohen?
Ruining the podcast.
And what if you designed for Box Office Mojo? What if you made them
And
a
it was
new
full
logo?
circle.
Wow.
And then the other thing we covered was you can make a mistake, like your information technology on your resume.
Yeah.
And scribble it out.
Yeah. You can make mistakes. You can get rejected from your dream program and keep pushing.
And your dream man.
Yeah. That as well.
You can. Doesn't
Thanks
mean
for
you
the trigger.
should. Okay, so have you changed who you are in the 8 at all? Or who are you the 8 in a professional? Like, basically, what job are you, personality-wise, is what I'm asking. Like, me, I'm a sex worker. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm a... This question's stupid.
Wait, I don't get what we're doing.
I don't get it. I'm trying to translate the 8 into like work or money.
Like,
wait, I know. Which dollar bill or coin are you?
I'm in $100 bill.
And I'm...
Because I'm getting that money.
I'm a dime.
You're a dime.
Because they're so small.
You're a dime.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 10. You're a 10.
Oh, actually, you know what? I want to be... I'm a €2 coin.
I'm a $2 bill.
I'm a €2 coin.
Because they're so rare.
I knew you were going to say that. Okay, we love you, Babbles.
We love you,
Merce.
Babbles. Love you, Hilty.
I'm gonna talk about all the things that I wanna talk about. We'll just keep talking. We'll just keep talking. Just keep talking. Talking. For so long. We're babbling on. We're babbling
Babbling On is created, produced, and edited by Hilton Dresden. The theme song is by Benny Cortoletta, featuring Callie Baker, and is produced by Benny Cortoletta and Jack Gross. The artwork is by Hilton Dresden. Audio consultation from Kenzie Woodrow and Dallas Seeker. Special thanks to Alec Cohen, Natalie Rotter-Waitman, Molly Montgomery, Nick Krause, and to everyone who has subscribed to Babbling On the Substack and refused to shut the fuck up.